Good morning. Welcome to Memphis Money 389. Today we're going to finish our west wooden fence. Today we're going to install, we install this gate, section of fence there, and then two sections of fence over here. If you want to see how we do all that stuff, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday 389, week 25. Today we're going to finish the fence repairs on that my western fence over there. We've still dark now, so I will take out all our wood and tools and all that stuff in the dark, and I'll bring you back once we get some light, and I'll show you, give you a status report and then what we have to finish today. I'm pretty excited about finishing this job because if you remember back a few weeks when we first started this, that fence was in really bad shape, and I think I brought it back up to standards. But we're going to go over all that. So let's knock off the chit chat, have a drink of coffee, and get to work. Now today we're going to be installing a new gate. It's still dark out, and I'm taking this out, but I might as well show you this new gate design here. One thing to think about is make sure that you strategically use the fact that an 8-foot 2x4 is 96 inches. Because that means this board here is 42 inches. That's going to be the gap right there. And these are 50. There's 3 of those. So 50 and 42 is 92. So I can get one of these and one of these out of each 2x4. And I don't actually do it that way, but you can see my point. Now these, I've got a total of 5 42s. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have 3 50s. 1, 2, 3. So, and then I got the diagonal piece. So it's as simple as that. I'll show you how this thing's put together. All the corners are neatly cut with right angles. The best cuts that I can make, so that when I attach these framing nails in to the joints, it'll tend to come out even or square. Now this is the hinge side. On the hinge side, I got these double 2x4s. This inner 2x4 is not strictly needed, but I put it in there anyway. And again, I got the framing nails stuck in all the corners. And I was very careful to cut these two hinge side boards exactly the same length, and then they're sistered together with these framing nails, 3-inch framing nails. Now some other gates we built, we used steel braces in the corner, like this little L brace. There's another L brace. Here's an outer brace. And there's nothing wrong with these, but they're just not needed. Let me show you why. They're not needed because the rails, the fence rails that the pickets will nail to, serve as the reinforcements on the gate by putting the rails down here at the end. You can reinforce it. Let me show you how that works. So here's a corner. There's the diagonal brace. Got 2 framing nails into the diagonal brace this way, 4 into the vertical frame pieces here, plus the nails we've already looked at, or the screws we've already looked at down here on the side. These 2 go into the diagonal, and then these 4 go into the vertical frame. So this arrangement right here serves the same purpose, yet only better than that steel brace. And then these rails here are 53 inches top to bottom, which is the same distance, the same spacing as we have on our fence. So these will line up, so we'll set these up parallel to the spacing on the fence. Okay, let's take this outside and start doing some work. Yeah, that's not a good sign. First board I took off is a failure. Now this is the part of the fence we worked on about 6 weeks ago. These are the gates we're going to replace. Now these, I've got a lot of these held in with screws. So I'm going to have to take all those screws out. Well, I got the pickets off. There are the inner boards there. And these are the outer boards. And I got a stack of 12 new boards as needed. This is all the old framing here. We're going to tear that down in a few minutes. Tear these gates out. Let's take a look at the status report of the job. First thing I'll bring up is the fact that this old fence was all these prefab fence sections, and these are 2x3s, and of course they're all sagging, and that put my fence right down into the dirt. But I'm not blaming the failure of the original fence all on the prefab sections, because I put the fence, those prefab sections, I put them too close to the ground. And so when there was any sagging or any fire ants built up around them, or just grass debris and stuff, and it rotted out the bottoms, and I had to keep a lot of those boards. But here is the west fence. We started out by building this gate here so we'd have access. And then we went through and removed all the boards, replaced the rails with new 2x4 treated rails. And we went from the original panels were made with ring shank nails. We upgraded that considerably. We're using an 1 5/8" treated deck, coated deck screws, and 3-inch coated deck screws. Got about halfway here. Here we had some really rotten boards, and we had to. So we got about halfway, and we decided to put in another gate. I don't like those little, those little latches. I like these things. And this is I used that same design I showed you a few minutes ago. So we got that gate, and we just kept working along. And we got down here towards the end and said, well, let's just put another gate in. So there's our third gate. Continued on. And we're going to get over here to the courtyard. It's a little more shady. And we're going to take out that old gate and put a new gate in right there in the center. Now, I don't remember the situation, but several years ago, I built this fence originally about 10 years ago, and then 4 or 5 years ago, I realized that the fence was going to have to be rebuilt. And so I went along and put 4x4 posts in all the way along the whole way, so that when I did fix the fence, I would have the posts in place. Here's the gate we're going to take out. This was a typical Memphis Applegate overkill. You know, this steel brace here wasn't necessary. I have this rail on the far side that backs up this corner. Now I'm going to install the new gate in this gap right here, and I'm going to hinge it on the right side, and that means something when you're talking about the angle brace. Let me show you why I had to do that. My original plan was to hinge it on the left and have my latch post over here on the right, but this latch post is not plumb. It's been in a little bit. Doesn't hurt the fence any, but it's not good for a latch post. So this is what can happen when you get your pickets too close to the ground. See that slot right there? What happens is over time, grass grows up and the insects dig in, and you know, and get a few ant hills, and pretty soon your bottoms of your pickets are buried. But we're solving that. I got a good 8 inches. So that means I'll be able to clean up, I'll be able to weed eat underneath the fence, put herbicide under the fence, whatever I want to do. But I don't have to worry about those ends getting stuck in the ground again. And here I'm mowing out the grass, but I'm also mowing out that dirt buildup that's been rotting out my boards. It'll give a nice flat surface to work with. Okay, here's what we got going. I got those blocks in there to hold the gate up. What I'm doing is I'm putting the gate in that gap right there. So I got the blocks, hold the weight of it. I got that spacer right there on the hinge side. And then I'll hold the hinge side to the gate post with those clamps. So let's give this a try. Okay, we're making sausage, guys. This is never as pretty as you'd like it to be. Holding the gate up with 4 stainless steel gate hinges, and I got these coated 2.5-inch coated lag bolts. The wood's pretty wet, so I'm not pre-drilling. Now let's see if our new gate opens and closes. That's always good for a gate. Now I'll take those spacers out. I don't know if you could tell what I was talking about before. But I had to set that gate up on something when I put it in because it's way up off the ground. Now I think this is funny. I remembered to open up this gate because we're fixing to put a latch, an inside latch on our gate we just installed. And we're going to be locking ourselves out because we want that gate to be solid when we're putting our pickets on. I got the gate installed and I put those inside pickets on. Those are the inner pickets, and I keep them straight across the top using that straight edge. Here's something. Couldn't get these fittings here, these fasteners here out, so I just left them. Now, this is the kind of latch I like, but probably won't be able to keep it because my wife will probably want me to put a fancy one on. But that'll last 1,000 years and the gate won't rattle or come loose. But now we're locked in. No, I think I can reach through and unlock it until we get the pickets on. Now the first thing I do is these outer boards, I just hold them up there, mark where I want my nail. Now here I'm using 2.5-inch coated deck screws. And then I'll come back and plumb these after I get them all in place. I'll plumb them and all that stuff. Now here I already put my cover board on because this is what the gate stops against, this cover board here. Well, that completes our west wall. Took us about 3 weeks. And this completes Memphis Monday 389 today. We finished this last portion, which included a gate, installing the gate. We repositioned all the pickets where they're up off the ground. We installed the gate with stainless steel door hinges with coated screws. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Here's the outside view. You can't even tell where the gate is. If I had more energy, I think I'd coat this thing with some deck treatment or something. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 389. As promised, we finished our big west fence there. I think later on in the fall we'll do the east fence. It's going to be a lot easier because we don't have to replace the rails. We just have to reposition the pickets. But I went over the construction of the gate and all that stuff and how to install it, this and that. I think we had some good takeaways, and I think we learned that you can do big jobs even if you're old. All right, so like, favorite, and share, and all the stuff you do on the internet. Most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.